Hello everyone, we've got a question here that says there are 10 football teams in a league. Each team plays every other team 4 times. Work out the total number of games that are played, 2 marks. All right, let's have a look. So I'm going to break this down to its simplest consideration, okay? Let's imagine you're in team 1, okay? If you're going to play every other team, you're going to play team 2, team 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, okay? So in order to have played every other team once, you're going to have need to played 9 matches, okay? So that's 9 matches for you to have played every other team once. Now, let's imagine you're in team 2. You're going to play team 1, you're going to play team 3, and you're going to have 9 matches to have played every single team once, okay? So it looks as though the total number of matches is going to be 10 times 9, okay? 10 times 9. However, the problem with this is, look at this match here. This match is team 1 plays team 2, okay? But this match here is team 2 plays team 1. So basically, within this 90, this whole grid, it's basically counted every match twice, so you've got to halve it, okay? So the actual number of games for everybody to have played everybody else once is equal to 45, okay? Because it is 9 times by 10 divided by 2, okay? So in its simplest sense, that's how you can think about it. There is higher maths behind this. It is basically 10 choose 2, which is 10 fact. Well, it's going to be 10 times 9 over 2 factorial, but don't worry about that. So all we need to know is like everyone plays 9 matches, okay? But when you do this, all the matches here have been counted twice, so you've got to halve it. Okay, so there's 45 games are played for everybody to play everybody else once. And this has got to happen 4 times, so we just got to times it by 4. So the answer to that is 4 times 45, which is 180 games played. All right, now, next question. I've already done question 15. I kind of missed 14 out by accident. Question 16. The histogram gives information about the distances that 60 teachers travelled to school on Monday. The histogram is incomplete. 11 of the teachers travelled between 0 and 5 miles. None of the teachers travelled more than 50 miles. The number of teachers who travel between 5 and 10 miles is the same as the number of teachers who travel between 20 and 30 miles. Complete the histogram. So the first way into this question is this first block here that we're given on the left. The question tells us that it represents 11. Okay. Now, in its simplest sense, what I did is I looked and I saw how many of these blocks have we got. Okay. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit of one of those blocks. So I kind of realized that each one of these blocks must stand for 2.5. So each one of those little squares that is 5 by 5. So each 5 by 5 square, 5 by 5 square, stands for 2.5 teachers. Okay. So we've got 2.5, we've got 5, 7.5, 10. And then this one, because it's 2 lines of that 5.5 block, that actually counts for 1, okay? Because if you had 4 lines, that would be 2, and 5 lines would be 2.5. So that's our sort of like key, our way into the question. So once we've got that, we then can say, okay, what's the frequency? How many teachers is represented by this block? How many teachers is represented by this block? Well, this block's really nice and easy because it's just 6 of those 5 by 5 blocks. So that is just 2.5 times by 6, so that's 15 teachers. What about this one over here? Well, we have got, it is 3/5 high and of each block that corresponds to 2.5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 2.5 blocks, but we've only got 3/5 of the height of each one, and we've got 4 of them. So that corresponds to 6 teachers. This area here is 6 teachers. So therefore, we can now work out, the question tells us there are 60 teachers in total. So we have 60, take away the 11, take away the 15, take away the 6, leaves us with 28. And then the question tells us that the number of teachers who travel between 5 and 10 is the same as the number of teachers who travel between 20 and 30. So we know that we need to have 14 in this bar and 14 in this bar. So now it's just a question of working out how high each bar needs to be to give us an area, to give us a frequency of 14. So we're going to need to have 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, and then this one needs to go up to 4. Okay, so that means it needs to go as high as 2.8 on the graph in order to get to 4, because we need to have like every 2 of those bars, remember, counts for 1. So we basically need to go all the way up to 2.8 to get a frequency of 14. This one over here, what have we got for this one? So we want to have 14, so we need to have 4 of the full blocks. So we've got 4 of these full blocks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 10. And then it needs to go up to 0.4 high in order to get the 14, because we're going to have each two of these little strips high counts for 1. So we would have like 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, 4 there. So it needs to go to 1.4 high. And that's that question completed. Just need to go to 2.8 high on this one and 1.4 high on that one. Okay, then the last question on this paper that I haven't done yet in the videos is this one. Right, question 17. Again, nice little bit of algebra. This is one of those things I always like to point out for any students thinking about A-level. This is the kind of skill that you need to make sure that you're very, very confident with. Basically, manipulating stuff like this all the time would just be a small part of a bigger A-level question. So, you might do this question that we're about to do right now just as part of an A-level question. So these kinds of skills, if you're thinking, oh, is A-level maths for me? These sort of skills are essential. And if you like this kind of question, you think, oh yeah, that's okay, then that's a good sign, because A-level maths is basically all algebra. Right, what have we got to do on this one? It says, show that it simplifies to something over y. Well, what would I do here? I think the first thing to do is get the whole thing over a common denominator. So you look at this and you think, right, what have I got here? I've got 5xy, I've got 2x, and here I've got 10xy. So I think a really sensible common denominator would be 10xy. So we're going to try and get everything over 10xy. So I don't need to do anything to that one. That one's good to go. This one, I need to times the numerator and the denominator by 5y. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5y to get my 10xy denominator. This one, everything looks almost there. We just need to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2 to get our 10xy. So let's do that and see what we've got. We've now got 6x minus y over 10xy plus 5y over 10xy minus 4y minus 14x over 10xy. So all I've done, notice I've doubled the numerator and denominator of this fraction. 2 became 4, 7 became 14, and 5 became 10. Now, here's where I think students would make a mistake on this next step. Now that we have a common denominator, we're going to combine the whole thing, but so that I don't make an error with my sign, I'm going to put brackets around that bit there. So I've got 6x, and you'll see why in a second. 6x minus y plus 5y minus, open bracket, 4y minus 14x. Very important that that's in brackets, 10xy. Now, this is why it was important that this was in brackets, because now when I remove the brackets here, I have minus 4y, but a minus and a minus becomes a plus. So that becomes plus 14x. Okay, so this is what I have now. 6x minus y plus 5y minus 4y plus 14x all over 10xy. Okay, so far so good. Now, let's see what we've got here. See how we can simplify things. So we have got, what have we got? We have got minus, we've got minus y, and minus 4y is minus 5y, and minus 5y add 5y cancels. So that totally cancels out, okay? And 6x add 14x is 20x. So that is 20xy, no it's not, it's 20x, sorry, over 10xy. Okay, so that's good. So now we can cancel this x out, and 20 divided by 10 goes in 2. So this is 2 over y is our final answer. Perfect. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. Thank you very much for watching the video. Remember, if you are finding these videos helpful, if you could like and subscribe to the channel, that's going to help me keep on making more videos moving forwards. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.